At this point in the story, Jesus has been betrayed, he's been sentenced to death, he's been beaten, he's been humiliated, and ultimately crucified on a cross. And so for today's Devo, I'm going to start by reading John chapter 19, starting in verse 40. It says, "Then they took the body of Jesus and wrapped it in linen with the spices, as was the Jewish burial custom. Now in the place where he was executed there was a garden. In the garden was a new tomb where no one had yet been buried. Because it was the Jewish day of preparation and the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there." Saturday was a day of silence. Now the silence, some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I'm a huge fan of silence. I can ride in the car in complete silence. I can take a walk. I can sit in a room full of people in complete silence. It does not bother me. My wife and I are parents of two preteen kids, where we are running from one place to the next between school and work and dance and soccer and all of the other activities that go along. And so maybe that's why I love the silence as much as I do, is it doesn't happen that often. So my wife and I, we try to savor those moments when we get them. But the silence isn't always necessarily fun when you've got the deeper issues of life confronting you, when you have to deal with the questions that you have, the fears, the anxieties, the things that weigh on you. It can just become overwhelming. And I can't help but think about the disciples and other followers of Jesus in the period of time between Jesus' death and his resurrection. What was that like? I mean, that had to be full of fear, doubt, anxiety, questions, like what in the world was going on? And that silence had to be overwhelming. We have the benefit of knowing the full story because we have the scriptures. We know how it ends. We can be excited about the resurrection, but the disciples, they didn't have that. They didn't know how it was going to end. They had to go through Saturday to get to Sunday. So today is Saturday. It's a day off of work for a lot of people. You may have a busy day full of activities, maybe you don't, but my challenge to you today would be just to carve out some time for some silence, solitude, to spend some time with Jesus. And as you push into that time, it can be tough to do. Your mind wants to wander 100 different directions. So give those thoughts to God. If you have prayers, give those to Him. If you have questions, fears, anxiety, things that are weighing you down, give those to Him, and I promise that He will hear them. And my prayer is that you would feel a sense of peace in laying those things at His feet, that His peace that only He can provide would wash over you, and that you would begin to get excited about what we get to celebrate tomorrow, the resurrection of Jesus. So it's not too late to invite somebody to join us tomorrow. So make a phone call, send a text, do whatever you got to do. Invite someone to Easter at 7 Marks, and we look forward to seeing you there.